A very good morning to one and all. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. I'm Abhishek Singh and today I'm here with a new story, that is the Treaty of Gandama. So dear students, you might have heard about the Durand Line, isn't it? Have you ever wondered that how was this Durand Line decided and which were the circumstances which led to the decision of making a boundary between the British India and Afghanistan, and that also having the Afghan or the Pashtun area well inside the boundary of that British India. So that particular reason we will be understanding with the help of today's lecture. So welcome to this session everyone, and in this lecture we are going to study about all the things related to the British India and Afghanistan relations, particularly with respect to the formation of the Durand Line, and also we will be seeing the scenario which led to its creation. But before that, let me tell you one thing, that we are offering a very smart opportunity. In fact, today is the 5th of July, as we all know, and today if you are getting yourself enrolled in our Prelims to Interview batch, which is a comprehensive program that provides you a complete preparation from the prelims stage up to your interview stage, including all the things related to the general studies, related to the mains preparation, as well as the test series, etc. As well, it also provides the current affairs part. So everything that is required to clear your examination. But today, if you are getting yourself registered, then one special thing that you are going to get, that is a very important book, which is the Ethical Dilemmas of a Civil Servant. This book, this book which is called as the No More a Civil Servant, it is written by a very senior bureaucrat, Anil Swarup sir, and this book will be giving you a complete idea, the complete mindset, that how to make yourself a civil servant in a right frame of mind. Okay everyone? So you have got the today's date only. Use this code ASR live in order to get the maximum discount. If you are using this code, you will get this course only at rupees 29,999 rupees. All right everyone. So now moving further to the topic here. So the Treaty of Gandama, 1879. Treaty of Gandama. So this is the time period of Lord Lytton. Lord Lytton, who was regarded as one of the, you can say, frivolous and not exactly a kind person. He was extremely self-centric, and also he had that mindset of a superiority complex. So in the year 1878 to 1880, basically that was the time when the British Indian forces were fighting with Afghanistan, what we call as the Second Anglo-Afghan War. And during that Second Anglo-Afghan War, on the 26th of May 1879, the Treaty of Gandama was signed by the representatives of Afghanistan and Britain. Basically, this treaty that was signed over the formerly Afghan territories like the Khyber Pass, it provided to India, allowed the British mission to permanently station in Afghanistan, established the British control in the Afghan policy, and opened up Afghanistan to free trade with India. That means, practically speaking, Afghanistan had lost the decision-making capacity. Why? Because obviously Khyber, Peshawar, etc., all those Khyber Pakhtun region of Pakistan today, that area was under the control, practical control of the Afghanistan kingdom. That area had to be ceded back to India, as well as the permanent British mission or British resident mission that was stationed at Kabul, and also the Afghan policy on the foreign matters, on the foreign external affairs, that was to be regulated by British. So overall you can say that British, they took the indirect control over Afghanistan with the help of this treaty. In the exchange of that, what happened? In exchange of that, the formerly occupied territories were returned to Amir Yakub Khan, and he and his heirs were granted a subsidy. Right? So certain areas which were won by British in that battle, they were returned back to the Yakub Khan, who was the Amir of the Emirate of Afghanistan. Okay. So this is an this is the basic excerpt, right? This is the basic excerpt of the treaty. If we are talking about the excerpts, apart from the excerpts, what are the details of the treaty? So if we talk about the details, let me tell you one thing. There were certain conditions which led to this treaty. Which were the conditions, by the way? So the most important condition, let me tell you, that is the fear of Russian invasion. So the British were always afraid that the giant Russian empire that would surely intervene into the Afghanistan's internal matters, and somehow sooner or later, and that will also lead to the interferences in the British Indian territories of the northwestern side. And that is why Britain wanted to avoid it. Britain wanted to keep Afghanistan as a friendly buffer state between the territories of British and Russian empires. At the same time, Lord Lytton was basically, he was basically having a forward Afghan policy. Why so? Because Lord Lytton, he deployed the forward Afghan policy because the Russian ambassador had visited the court of Afghan king or Afghan Amir Sher Ali, and the visit of Russian ambassador at the court of Afghan Amir, this was reverted by the forward policy, in which the military of the British India, obviously, that was stationed at the forward places and close to the boundaries. And not just that, they proceeded in order to counter the Russian presence in Afghanistan. Okay. Even Lord Lytton tried to establish a diplomatic mission. Lord Lytton also tried that, like Russian ambassador, let us also send us ambassador to the Afghanistan's capital. However, Sher Ali, who was Amir of Afghanistan, this gentleman, Sher Ali, the Amir of Afghanistan, he declined the offer of Lord Lytton to receive an ambassador at his capital. So this simply infuriated Lord Lytton, who proceeded with the invasion of Afghanistan. So in the month of November 1878, what happened? Lord Lytton decided to dispatch 3 British columns of the forces consisting of almost 40,000 soldiers. Okay, and these 40,000 soldiers, they invaded Afghanistan and they marched through the Bolan Pass, not through the Khyber Pass. If you just look at this position, okay, sorry, if you just look at this position here, you can understand it very well that okay, this region basically, which is Pakistan's region, if you observe this, okay, so here we have the Khyber and here we have the Bolan. So Khyber Pass, that is present comparatively in the northwestern side, whereas the Bolan Pass is relatively southwards. So the Bolan Pass was utilized as the passage towards Afghanistan. Okay, towards Afghanistan. Got it, everyone? So this passage was now utilized as the track to attack Pakistan. And what happened? Bolan Pass was obviously used to invade it. However, the second part of this military column that occupied the Ali Masjid fortress, and at the same time Ali Masjid fortress that was occupied to secure the Khyber Pass before advancing to Jalalabad, the city in Afghanistan, and the third advanced along the Kurram Valley towards Kabul. Okay, so 3 different groups were there, a total of 40,000 soldiers. The first group proceeded with the track of Bolan Pass. Second group that proceeded towards the Ali Masjid Khyber Jalalabad region, and third group that proceeded towards the Kurram Valley and occupying Kabul. So if we talk about the third column under Major General Sir Frederick Roberts, it found the way blocked at Piwar Kotal by the Afghan force of 18,000 men. So when the third group of the soldiers was going towards Kabul to occupy that, what happened? 18,000 Afghan soldiers, they blocked the passage of, they blocked the path of this military troop. And Roberts made an attack on the position. However, what happened? These invasions were very hard fought, despite having the military superiority, military superiority that was with the Afghan soldiers. Remember, they were just 40,000, only 40,000, but divided into three parts. Afghanistan soldiers on the other side, they were 18,000 soldiers in a single group. Still, the British forces, using their skills as well as the military capabilities of the Gurkha soldiers, they were successful in inflicting the huge damages on the Afghan soldiers. Okay. Now after that, what happened? When Afghan soldiers, they were completely devastated in that battle. So that resulted into the Treaty of Gandama. Okay. So when Roberts reached to Kabul, as the news reached that the British have defeated the battalions of Afghan soldiers, so Sher Ali, the Amir of Afghanistan, he just fled away from the capital, right? And later on he died due to a heart attack. And he was succeeded as Amir by his son Yakub Khan. So Yakub Khan was not as competent as his father Sher Ali, right? Sher Ali. So he just wanted to conclude a treaty with the British, and that very treaty is called as the Treaty of Gandama in May 1879. Why am I telling you all about this treaty? Because this treaty will be the foundation stone of the upcoming Anglo-Afghan relations up to 1921. In fact, let me tell you, not just 1921, even today, the relations between Afghanistan and the Western world like US, UK, etc., that is not very good. Why so? Because the Afghan experience with this treaty, that was completely miserable, right? It was completely deplorable experience that Afghans had to undergo. What was such that in treaty? So what happened? That British decided to support Yakub Khan for the throne of Afghanistan. Therefore, he accepted the presence of the British envoy, Major Sir Louis Cavendish, right? Louis Cavendish, and British control of Afghan foreign affairs. So practically he surrendered. He surrendered the Afghan sovereignty and accepted that Afghanistan will be like a subsidiary to the British presence. Right now. So what happened? In the September 1879, because Afghanistan, remember one thing, that Afghan people, they never ever accept the slavery of any foreigner, any foreign kingdom, right? So in September 1879, the mutinous Afghan soldiers from the Herat, they appeared in Kabul demanding the back pay from the British, right? Afghan soldiers were saying that this boss, Yakub, he has not made our payments. Our payments are pending. So since you have now taken over, so you have to pay us. But what happened? The British commander, Cavendish, he completely refused their demands. So once he refused their demands, what happened? The soldiers, they started rioting. They started creating arsons, and they attacked and fired the British residency, killing almost 200 occupants. 200 occupants were there in the British residency. They were all killed. Even Cavendish was also killed on the 3rd September 1879. But Yakub Khan did not do anything to stop this massacre. He did not do anything to stop this massacre. From this point, you can understand very well that probably Yakub was also not liking the British supremacy over his kingdom. But yes, he was not in a position to resist. Probably that is why he was bearing all these things. But when he saw the Pakhtun soldiers devastating the Kabul residency of the Britain, then he did not intervene, so that he wanted the British appearance to be weak in Afghanistan. Okay, so you can see here the picture shows Yakub Khan. Okay, Yakub Khan is sitting here, and when I am talking about this particular revolt of the Afghan soldiers, after that what happened? After that, the British response that came against Afghan soldiers. When the news of Afghan revolt reached India, Roberts was recalled from the leave and put into the command of a new force to reach Kabul and identify those responsible. So, Commander Roberts, he was recalled from the leave and sent to Afghanistan region. What happened? Suspected rebels, they were to be tried, and if found guilty, they were to be executed. But Yakub Khan, who did not support the British at the time of distress, he was to be defeated or to be deposed as per the requirement. So what happened? Roberts' forces were also opposed by the Afghan soldiers. Okay, and in fact, let me tell you that Yakub Khan, he was also joined by the British column, right? Yakub Khan, he had by then joined the British column. He was supporting the British. He did not want that British should punish him. Okay, so what happened? Roberts defeated the Afghan forces and reached Kabul in October. The trials and executions began, but the supporters of Yakub Khan and opponents of British occupants rose in the revolt. What happened? Yakub Khan personally, he was trying to show that he is with the British forces, but at the same time, in his home capital, he had instructed his supporters that they should not welcome the British presence in the capital city. So when Yakub and British, after defeating the Afghan soldiers at the place called as Chara Siab. So at Chara Siab, they defeated the Afghan soldiers and reached to Kabul. But at Kabul, the people, they stood up in the revolt. They rose up in the revolt. Okay. So once they rose up in the revolt, so what happened? The British, they tried to persuade, but if the persuasion did not work, then they started oppressing them. So what happened? Before Christmas, around 50,000 tribesmen, they attacked the 7,000 strong garrison to grab Sherpur and Kabul both. By the dawn of Christmas Eve, the tribes has been dispersed and Robert had successfully reoccupied Kabul. Remember that there were 50,000 tribes attacking the garrison, means the military command center, right, of the British forces near Sherpur and Kabul. Any other commander would have been completely dismantled, but Roberts was an exceptional commander who controlled the situation quite well. And what did he do? He controlled the tribes exceeding almost 4 to 5 times in the number. And at the same time, in the month of May 1880, Roberts was joined by Lieutenant General Sir Donald Stewart, who had advanced from Kandahar and defeated the Afghan army led by Ahmad Khail. So now the British, they got the reinforcement coming from Indian side via Kandahar, that is present in Afghanistan, southern part of Afghanistan. So now by this time, in the July, the vacant throne was offered to the person whose name was Abdur Rahman, who was the nephew of Sher Ali. Remember, Sher Ali was the first person about whom we started talking. He was succeeded by his son, whose name was Yakub Khan. Yakub Khan was playing the double games with the British. Therefore, he was replaced. And who replaced him? The nephew of Sher Ali, whose name was Abdur Rahman. So now what happened? This Abdur Rahman, since the British had made him the Amir of Afghanistan, the king of Afghanistan, so therefore he would ratify the Treaty of Gandamak once again, and at the same time he would be ready to cooperate with the British. But as I told you that the British, they were trying to control the community of Afghans who were never ever ready to be ruled by any other foreign dynasty. So what happened? Once Abdur Rahman became the in charge of Afghanistan, then another son of Sher Ali, whose name was Ayub Khan, he also launched his own claim to become the next king of Afghanistan. So on the 27th of July 1880, 1,000 strong British Indian force sent to intercept him. It was overwhelmed by the army 10 times size. So he had defeated the 1,000 1,000 numbered force of the British East India Company, right? British Indian forces. And in fact, the survivors, they were pursued back into Kandahar, which was soon besieged by Ayub Khan's victorious army. So Ayub Khan was continuously defeating the British forces. First of all, he defeated at the Battle of Maiwand, and after the Battle of Maiwand, he defeated them at the Battle of Kandahar also. So Maiwand and Kandahar, these were the two battles lost by the British against Ayub Khan. So now what is the chart here? So first of all, it was Sher Ali. Sher Ali was followed by Yakub Khan. Okay, so Sher Ali Khan followed by Yakub Khan. Yakub Khan was followed by Abdur Rahman. Okay, Abdur Rahman, he was the cousin of Sher Ali Khan, and Yakub Khan and Ayub Khan. These two were the brothers. Right. So what happened? That Ayub Khan now controlled the position in Afghanistan. And after that, what happened? British also started to respond, and they controlled the situation by forcing Kabul to Kandahar. And despite the difficult terrain, what happened? Roberts once again proved to be the problem solver for the British forces. On the 1st of September 1880, he defeated the forces of Ayub Khan at Kandahar and completely ended his control over the city. British once again decided to leave Afghanistan by making Abdur Rahman as the Amir of Afghanistan. At the same time, what happened? They also agreed to conduct his foreign policy through the government of India. So Abdur Rahman, now he was completely okay with the British controlling the Afghan foreign policy, and at the same time they also seized several Afghan districts in the Khyber and Kurram border areas. So British were continuously adding the areas of Afghanistan into the British Indian territories. And at the last, British and Indian soldiers left the country in the April 1881. Right? Not just that, the provocative policy of the maintaining a British resident in Kabul was quietly dropped. So British, they accepted the request of Abdur Rahman that no British resident will reside at Kabul because that can instigate the emotions of Afghan soldiers. However, in exchange of that, the areas nearby Kurram Valley and Kabul Valley, they were merged into the British Indian provinces. Not just that, but we can say that this treaty, it became the foundation stone of the Durand Line. The Second Anglo-Afghan War, that became the foundation of the Durand Line. What is the Durand Line? Durand Line is basically the international border that lies between Pakistan and Afghanistan. But actually this was the line which was present between India and Afghanistan. Okay. So what happened? This Durand Line was basically 1600 miles long boundary between Afghanistan and the British India at present in Pakistan. It culminates the western end at the border with Iran and eastern end at the border with China. So that was established in the year 1893 as the border between British India and Emirate of Afghanistan that was taken considered. So this boundary was decided by Sir Henry Mortimer Durand. He was basically the foreign secretary of the colonial government of India, and between Abdur Rahman Khan, who was the Amir of Afghanistan, so foreign secretary of government of India, Henry Mortimer Durand, and the Amir of Afghanistan, who was Abdur Rahman. So they both entered into the treaty, resulting into the Durand Line decision as a boundary between India and Afghanistan. Now, if we talk about the other details, so what happened? the resulting Durand Line agreement delineated the foreign frontier between Afghanistan and British India. It was defined by the joint Afghan-British survey between 1894 and 1896. So British-Afghan survey that was jointly held to demarcate the exact locations, on this border line. New border divided the Pashtun areas into two parts, setting the region up for the future tensions. So currently, the tensions between the Pakistan and Afghanistan which are going on, or the Taliban issue, or the differences between the leaders of Pakistan and Afghanistan, despite sharing the same religion, the major reason behind that, a major cause behind that, that is the clumsy division of this area by the Durand Line. Half of the Pashtun areas, they were given to the British India, and the other half that was kept into the Afghan region. So currently the Khyber Pakhtun, right, these areas, or the areas of Hunza, right, all these things, they were practically not the part of British India, but they were made the part of British India by this treaty. In fact, if we talk about the presence of a buffer zone, so remember that very narrow corridor, you might have seen this particular map, a very narrow corridor called as the Wakhan corridor, This corridor, it was intentionally kept between India and Tajikistan, which was the part of the Russian Empire by that time, and this part was given to Afghanistan. However, let me tell you one thing, that nowadays this part is in the news, this Wakhan corridor is in the news, because there are contemplations, there are the claims that should Pakistan purchase this area to straighten its boundary and to share its actual boundary with the Tajikistan. As we all know that this area is called as the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which means that this area is administered by Pakistan, okay, and controlled illegally, occupied illegally by Pakistan. So Pakistan is trying to straighten its presence to have a direct contact with the Central Asia with the help of the Wakhan corridor. So this is a very significant geostrategic position which India would have obtained, given that the POK was in the control of India. Okay. So in future, who knows that this might be a possibility, right, everyone? So after that, if we talk about the current scenario, so what happened? Abdur Rahman died in 1901. He was followed by another pro-British, Habibullah, who was assassinated in the year 1919. So the assassination of the Habibullah, that resulted into the enthronement of Amanullah, the new Amir of Afghanistan. Amanullah, he was an anti-British ruler. So when he acceded to the throne, very quickly there was the third Anglo-Afghan war in the year 1919. Okay. So this third Anglo-Afghan war in 1919, that ended with the Treaty of Rawalpindi. Okay, the Treaty of Rawalpindi, and due to this treaty, Afghanistan was able to regain the control of the foreign policy from Britain, right? But at the same time, it also reaffirmed the Durand Line as the official border between Afghanistan and British Empire, right? But Afghanistan was always suspicious. It was always in the state of disbelief that the Afghan areas under the control of British India, that originally they should have been made the part of Afghanistan. This is why when India was partitioned and the new state of Pakistan was created, right now, then it was decided by Afghanistan not to support the demand of Pakistan. In fact, let me tell you that even in the year 1946, when the rest of the people of the Mohammedan India, they were supporting Muslim League in the elections of State Assembly for 1946, then even that time also the Afghans of Northwestern Frontier Province or the Khyber Pakhtun region, they had voted heavily in the support of Congress. Okay. So that was their intention. They did not want to remain with Pakistan. Yes, it is real fact that when the plebiscite was held, 99% or more they had supported to join Pakistan, but that was circumstantial because they had no other option. So that's why they had to choose this Pakistan, because Congress and India, they have actually denied the acceptance of that area. That is why when in the year 1947 Pakistan applied for the membership of the United Nations, it was Afghanistan which opposed the membership of United Nations for Pakistan. It did not want that Pakistan should get the membership of UN. Why? Because the areas of Afghan regions, they were under the control of Pakistan. Okay. So since then, what happened? Since then, the relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan are relatively not at very ease. However, they are still a close neighbor. They are still, Afghanistan still depends in a lot of matters over Pakistan, because Afghanistan is a landlocked country, as we all know, and Pakistan provides them the access to the seaports, but still their relations are little bit stiff. Okay. So guys, I hope that it is clear to all of you that this particular lecture, that would be extremely helpful for you to understand the state of relations between India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, this junction. And at the same time, this treaty, it provided us a landmark event in the history, because this reshaped the entire northwestern parts of the subcontinent. And at present also, whatever problems we are facing right now, those problems somehow they find their origin in the Treaty of Gandama. So if you love this lecture, do not forget to hit a like button, and at the same time, if you are preparing for the UPSC 2024, do not forget to enroll yourself for this extremely significant course, which is going to be a 15-month long comprehensive program encompassing each and everything from the prelims up to the interview stage, including the general studies, current affairs, and the practice test papers. Everything will be there. And if today you are getting yourself enrolled, then you are going to get this special book written by Anil Swarup sir, who is a senior bureaucrat, and this book will guide you to have the right mindset about a civil servant. So these all things are available at the price of rupees 70,000. However, you have got a golden opportunity that if you are using this code ASR live, then you are going to get this particular course at just rupees 29,999 rupees. All right, everyone. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much, and let us meet tomorrow in the new chapter. Till then, have a great day ahead. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, and have a good day. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.